Good evening, good evening. Very, very, very quick video here. This is Eagle Eyed Football, and this is the match reaction to, which is obviously a disappointing result. It finished Chelsea 3, Crystal Palace nil. But in all fairness, first game of the season, not going to be easy against the European champions. But there are a few positives. Now, obviously, the first half was very disappointing. Very, very disappointing. Yes, we're obviously trying to implement a new way of playing. We're trying to play out from the back, and we've done it really well in pre-season. But credit to Chelsea, what they did is they pressed high, they pressed hard, and we found it very difficult to get out. Absolutely very difficult to get out. But this is what it is at this moment in time. And we there's been a lot of reaction. Obviously, I think one reporter saw kind of mirrored it to the whole Frank de Boer era. Like, ever, don't ever, ever relate this to the Frank de Boer area. Frank de Boer came in and he was toxic. And you can see that Patrick is trying to do something positive here. So absolutely, like, it is what it is. We've just played Chelsea. There was a massive buzz from the Super Cup. I thought that might work in a favour, playing obviously at 120 minutes, but then you also got to look at the squad depth. We've got a lot of injuries. They can field three sides easily, and that includes some of their youth as well. So yeah, don't fret too much, don't panic too much. It is what it is. But personally, I feel that all three goals were avoidable to an extent. The free kick they got for Alonso's goal, there was minimal, absolute minimal contact there. But fair play to Alonso. He's hit a peach of a free kick, a set piece. These happen. These things happen. Then you look at the Pulisic goal. Gaeta, he didn't have the best of games today. But I'm not going to get on his back because we've had worse keepers. You know what I mean? And Gaeta's absolutely. He's just parried it into the wrong area. And once again, Pulisic. Oh man, once again, he always seems to do, always seems to score against us. Mr. What do you call what's the Marvel character? Captain America, that's it. Always seems to score against us, and he's done so as well. Fair play to him, he's reacted really well, and it's hit the underside of the post and gone in, the crossbar and gone in. On another day that hits the crossbar and comes out, and then lastly, I mean, Mitchell obviously, unfortunately, he's got sucked in by the runner, but someone has to press Chalobah, and it brings about the question: where was the midfield at the time? And obviously, we're trying to press to try and get back into the game, but Chalobah's had too much time to pick his spot, and he struck the ball very well. So, like I said, all three goals were avoidable to an extent, and we had chances ourselves. Second half, we were so much better, and that's what I want to focus on. I want to focus on the positives because when you look at it, Patrick he's made a positive change. Something happened in the dressing room, and he's reacted to it, and he's made the change early. In the past, we may have just let things drift off in 60 minutes, 70 minutes, 80 minutes, and not make any changes. But he's made the change. Obviously, a lot will say that he shouldn't have started the way he started. The formation was wrong, fair bit. But the signs of good managers and good progress is the ability to see their faults and to be able to make changes there and then. So obviously it's disappointing in the manner in which we conceded the goals. Like I said, here's the link if ever you want to come in and have a chat and have your say about the game itself. But we got to look at the positives. This was never going to be an easy task as it is, but we still went to Stamford Bridge and we still wanted to play football. I am not going to complain about that whatsoever. We've now, and just going through some of the comments, Wolf was our best player going forward. He was, and to be fair, he should have scored. He should have scored as well. I think his touch let him down the chance in the second half, and he got closed down. It was absolutely amazing to see Raksaki get on. And you know what? I know we're in the hunt for a winger, but I tell you what, he's got a very bright future ahead of him. And once again, listen, I don't want to I'm trying not to be negative about it, but Jordan's had an absolute stinker. You know, he's had an absolute stinker today. But he's had a decent preseason. He works hard for us. I can see why he's there, but he's not a winger. He's not a winger, and it's so important that we get one in. We've obviously in the past we've been linked with Reece Nelson. We've been linked with Ahmad as recently as last night as well. So Ahmad Diallo will be a fantastic sign. He's just got something about him. Very, very special talent. He's come back from the Olympics. He's on a buzz. He doesn't really need a preseason. Just throw him in there. You know, we really need a right winger as soon as possible. Luke Kube says we changed to three at the back in the second half, and this is what I like about Patrick. He's very versatile and adaptable. If something's not working, he'll change it, and that could work in our favor for obviously different opponents, different styles that we're playing against, you know. And let's listen. We've got the first game of the season against the European champions, who are on such a high, and obviously mistakes in the first half, but the second half we gave a very good account for ourselves. The most important thing, and this goes into Tom Clark's comment here, this is the game. This is the game we need to actually go out and stamp our authority. Brentford are going to be on a high after beating Arsenal, but then also on their front, it was the first game back in the Premier League in front of their fans, and these are factors that played into their hands. But looking at Brentford, they go from back to forward very quickly. We've got to avoid that. That's what we've got to avoid. You know, made so many dumb fouls. We did, but at the same time, some of the fouls were soft. Like John Moss was ready to blow his whistle, which was absolutely frustrating. But it is what it is, you know, and I don't want us to get disheartened about it. Listen, enough from me. Like I said, this is your platform. I'm so glad we've got a caller in. Good evening. Good evening, Luke.
Good evening. I went to the game today. Fans were amazing. Atmosphere was great. Palace fans, I'm going to give them credit. We made the journey down. Fantastic. It's good to see full stadiums back. So
Absolutely.
after like 18 months, and well, where do we start? You touched base on it earlier. Vieira's got to have time.
Definitely.
You can tell that he did tinker in the second half. I did mention it. He apparently went to three at the back. So he went for Kyoto on the right hand side. He went for, I think it was Anderson in the middle, and then Gurhey on the left hand side.
Yeah.
It was very, very, very good to see. Very refreshing. And I think you touched base on it earlier. It said if we had Roy, I think we would have stuck to the same formation for the next 30 minutes or so in the second half. But there's a lot of positives to take from the game. Obviously, we conceded 3 goals, which is not good, but we are lacking a goal scorer.
We really are.
Mateta, not the guy. Mateta is not the guy.
I really want to give him a chance. I really do, but I'm just not convinced by him.
Christian was a lot better when he came on. Unfortunately, and Christian had a shot off target, but that's the only thing I remembered from him. Christian just looks fitter. He looks sharper than Mateta. Mateta is one thing I want to touch on with Mateta, and also Ayew as well. Mateta, he's making those runs in behind. You can tell. And then Ayew in the first half, I think it was either Ayew or Ward. I think it was Ayew. Ayew decided to run into Chelsea's midfield. Probably one of the worst things you could do. He did that, but he didn't choose the easy option where Mateta was running that in behind, and Mateta, Ayew could have made that pass through. Ayew is the most annoying player to watch in terms of I think he's still got those goals and stuck in his head still. Do you remember the West Ham goal?
Great finish. Great goal.
I think he's still got that in his head that he thinks he can take on everybody.
Yeah.
And he is the most annoying player to watch as a
Yeah.
fan.
I
But
agree. But you know what? In his defense, he's a striker. He's not a winger. He's just doing a job for us. And that's why we badly need a winger. Like I said, we've been linked with Ahmad. We've had Reece Nelson linked. I mean, I really would love Noni back. But it's kind of just a waiting game at the minute. Just have to kind of wait and see where we go with this. But what's your score prediction for Brentford? How do you think we'll do against Brentford?
oh, I think we should go to three at the back. We looked much better when we played to three at the back.
And Anderson's different class, isn't he?
I saw one of his long balls. I saw one of his long balls. Oh my god! I was like, we would never had that with Dan or Cahill. We would never have that. I was like, oh my god, we got a really good centre back on our hands.
This is it.
If we can keep hold of him for the next few years, hopefully no clubs come into him. But if we can keep this guy is an absolute colossus at the back.
He really is.
So one of these long balls to Mitchell, or I think it was Mitchell or Wilf, and it created a chance for us. You need a centre. Look at the great centre backs like Virgil van Dijk and I'm going to go years back, but look at Maldini when he has these like long balls. Long balls are important for centre backs and for wingers as well. That's why we're looking at a right winger. If we can have Wilf on the left and then another winger to complement Wilf, and then we have Anderson and Gurhey to ping those balls left, right, and centre, then we'll be fine.
I think we will, yeah.
But yeah, I would go three at the back against Brentford. We look much better in the second half with three at the back. But my only concern with three at the back is Joel Ward. If Joel Ward is playing three at the back, we're going to have a bit of a problem. But if we play Klein at three at the back, with Klein as the right wing back, I think we'll be fine. Three at the back is the way to go for us. That's our best formation. We looked much better.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's the beauty of what Patrick's done. We've now added another formation to our repertoire. Because we've always been a 4-3-3. Obviously, last season we were 4-4-2, predominantly most of the season. Now we can get 3-4-3 in or 3-5-2, however you want to look at it. And what I was pleased about, especially regarding Anderson and Gay, is that they are willing to drive forward with the ball.
Yeah,
you know, that progression into midfield just pushes us up a bit further up the field, which is good to see. And like I said, we played Chelsea. We played Chelsea. It wasn't like we played Norwich or Watford, who I feel we should be beating. You know what I mean? It was Chelsea, and we still saw good signs. And that's what we've got to take into next week. And that's why I said, I've even mentioned on Twitter, next week's game is so important.
It is. It's probably one of the most important games of the season.
It's going to be huge.
Can't believe we're saying this already. It's a must-win game.
Yeah, I mean, our running it's not easy anyway, because we've got the likes of West Ham, Tottenham,
Liverpool
all coming up anyway. So, irregardless, the Brentford game, I'll say the West Ham game as well, are the games we've got to be looking at nicking points there.
Yeah,
the Liverpool, the Tottenhams, so. And then obviously we've got Brighton and Leicester following that. So this is why I'm not massively concerned, because that initial run-in's tough. There's going to be a period where it's going to be, we should be winning these back-to-back games. And that's where we've got to look at the positives. That's where we've got to look at our squad. Hopefully we get a few more through the door. And yeah, let's just not panic. I mean, I've seen quite a few people panicking. We don't need to panic just yet. I think we'll be fine.
Yeah. Talking about, you said about Gurhey driving with the ball. He did that quite a lot today, but he did get caught out in position. He did get caught out There was
Yeah.
one time when Joel Ward and Kiata was having a foot race with Pulisic, and
And
Gurley
you know
was
what it is?
and
It's
Gurley
all
was
due to Tuchel, because you know what, he does his homework. Tuchel's not just any coach. He actually does his homework. He's seen that we've changed. We've trying to play out the back, and he said, "All right, we're going to press the living daylights out of you, and all we're going to do is we're going to learn from it. We've not played a team that's pressed us that deep, pressed us that intense. Do you understand? We've not played a team that's pressed us so much. So all we can do now is say, all right, if they're going to press us, we're just going to have to go long.
yeah,
And this is where I think Benteke is going to be very, very key for us.
yeah.
And not Mateta. You know, we're going to have to bypass the press.
And we do need another striker, but would you say we need someone like an Edouard, possibly from Celtic, or
Edouard will be superb for us. I think he'd be
possibly
brilliant.
someone like a Andy Johnson type striker? I feel like we might need that.
We missed out on Adam Armstrong, who I feel would have been very good for us. Funny enough, he scored today. But Edouard will be perfect. His hold-up play, he can run in behind. He's dynamic. And I don't think we've ever brought in a striker to challenge Christian. And I'm not saying that Christian's got complacent. It's not that. I don't feel he's got complacent. But if you want to be progressive, you need to have 3 or 4 strikers that are fighting to be number one. You know, you look at even like Aston Villa. They've got in Danny Ings. They already had Ollie Watkins. It's about progression. Yes, they lost today, which was a shock, but it's so important to have more than one striker to come in.
But, as you're saying about strikers, we've had a few fair strikers over the years. I saw a tweet earlier today. I think one of the Palace fans tweeted, and he said Dougie Freeman hasn't really brought in a good striker. Like, I think the only good striker he's really brought into the club is actually Glenn Murray, and Glenn Murray was our prolific goal scorer. He could just tap it in, like you could just put a cross on the floor maybe, or put a cross in the air. Glenn Murray just taps it in. We're missing a striker who can just tap the ball in, and just Glenn Murray had that. He was a fox in the box, and we're missing that type of striker. But obviously, someone else mentioned to me today when I was going to Chelsea, he said, "Do you think it's a bad mistake that we sold Townsend because we're missing a cross off the ball?"
I don't think it's a mistake that we sold Townsend. I think it's more so we just need to make sure we replace him. And don't forget, we've still got Eze to come back. We've got Elise to come back, who's about 2 weeks away. Gallagher comes into the squad next week. So we've got players. We've got players. We've managed to get out of this game.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have preferred us to not concede 3 goals. If we would have lost 1-0 or 2-0, because obviously goal difference is going to be huge. But we've got players to come back, and yet the window hasn't closed yet as well. So I don't think we need to panic at all. But Luke, thanks for jumping on, though. Really, really appreciate
You're
that.
welcome.
All right, and absolutely. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
So yeah, really, really great insight from another Palace fan. Lots of work to be done, but there's no need to panic. First game of the season against Chelsea, absolutely no need to panic. A few comments before we bring in a United fan, by the way. Here's another United fan. It might be time to panic. I don't think it's time to panic. Not at all. Not at all. And to be fair, Man United are a great example of that. They lost their first game of the season last season. They didn't panic. They ended up finishing second in the league. So, you know, but big up to Brad. Yeah, there is slow growth. But like I said, we keep working, we keep churning out content. Absolutely. And go check out United Fan TV. Here's the United Fan channel. And also make sure you check out this guy, the United Community. 1 second, Hamza. Let me just address this comment. Just missed our key players. Absolutely. Elise, Eze, and Gallagher will make such a difference to the squad. So no need to panic. No need to panic. Listen, look at that grin on your face. You look superb today, to be fair. 5-1 against Leeds.
The sad thing is, I wasn't able to watch the match.
That's all right. You know what you can do? You can come onto my stream tomorrow because I'm going to do one for all other fans. Every other club, they can come and react to their team's performance. But this is for Palace. Anything you got to say about Palace? Apart from the fact that we lost.
No, I'm not going to talk about Palace because, like, it's Tuchel. Like, come on. It was a tough match. And
Absolutely.
that centre-back that they played today, that I still don't know what his name is,
Trevor
was
Chalobah.
incredible, you know?
It was
really good. And the best thing happened this week, you know. Manchester United winning 5-1 and Arsenal losing 2-0 to Brentford. That's a week completed.
Right, Hamza, quick question. Why didn't you watch the game?
Because I had training, unfortunately.
Oh, fair enough. To be fair, I did miss the Palace game. It's Steph's birthday tomorrow, my wife's birthday tomorrow, so we went out today. So yeah. But no, you're right. Tuchel's a phenomenal coach. Absolutely fantastic coach. And they're going to be difficult to beat, to be fair, Chelsea. They're going to be very difficult to beat.
Definitely, especially if they're going to probably get Koundé. And and that centre back was really good, you know, like that goal.
Chalobah was superb. He was superb.
To get this confidence and to play alongside Rudiger and Thiago Silva was playing probably. Was it Zuma or Thiago Silva?
I think they started off with
But anyway, like to have the confidence in your first game. To play like that on the Tuchel is really good. It's really insane. Like
yeah, it was Christensen.
Christensen. I was really impressed by that. So like Chelsea look up for this season. Man United, I wouldn't say up for this season because we know it's Leeds and like it was the same squad.
Save your United views for tomorrow night. You know what? On that note, absolutely. Listen, Hamza, thanks for jumping in. But you know, we're definitely going to talk tomorrow. Right, so listen up for this.
I'm saving it all up for Arsenal, you know.
Absolutely. Save it for tomorrow. I promise you, it'll be worth it. It will be worth it. Save it for tomorrow.
Who's coming up tomorrow?
This is what I'm going to announce. Give me a second, yeah? All right, big up to Hamza. So, tomorrow night, 9 p.m. And I'm going to aim for 9 p.m. My new show is called Get Amped. And this allows every fan from any club across whatever continent you live in, you can call in and discuss your club's performance on the weekend. So Hamza, if you want to come and talk about United, that's the opportunity then. Sunday night, the new show, Get Amped. I want to talk to Arsenal fans. I want to try and get to United fans, Chelsea fans, Aston Villa, whatever club you support, PSG, whoever it is, come tomorrow night on the Eagle-Eyed Football Channel and come and talk about your club. Tonight was about Palace, strictly about Palace, but I'm going to speak to other clubs every Sunday night. That is the plan. So guys, big up. We're gonna run this off now because I'm gonna finish off the birthday celebrations with the wife before she beats me up. But apart from that, listen, thanks for the insight. Thanks for those who've come on. Just last few comments. Leeds held 5, Palace held 3. Arsenal, it's nuts. Arsenal did struggle, but you know what? If you're available, Brad, come on tomorrow. We'll talk about Arsenal 100%. 1 week we will find a City fan. Listen, this is Eagle-Eyed Football. This was the match review, guys. Palace fans, do not panic. Let's get up behind the boys next week. Massive game against Brentford. First home game. Huge game. And we take it from there. All right. It was Chelsea 3, Crystal Palace 0. But we move on to next week. This is Eagle-Eyed Football. And I'm out.